Now, the latest meetings of the G20 group of nations, which have been on in Johannesburg, South Africa, since Saturday, is about to be brought to a close today. Rice correspondent Adesua Giwa-Osage is standing by to give us an update. Adesua, it's good to have you with us. So, after all the proceedings we've been having at this conference, and a tumultuous beginning regarding the US and of course South Africa, we're here almost to a close. What more can you tell us?
Good afternoon, Nii. Good afternoon, Balane. So lovely to see you. Balane, I love your top this morning. You look absolutely stunning.
Thank
now,
you.
What's going on in South Africa? When it comes to the U.S. Delegation that did not show up for the G20, they showed up for everything else, particularly the B20, the business conference. We've seen a lot of American businesses here. I saw a number putting it around 600. So when they're having trade discussions at the side, they're right when they say they are compartmentalizing, because it does seem that American businesses at least know that South Africa is open for business and it's a profitable place to be. Beyond that, also, if we think about everything that has been going on the sidelines, right beside me, they are currently setting up the stage for the president of Turkey, Erdogan, who is coming shortly to give a press briefing. A lot of the countries here have been working together. The idea is, of course, that a multipolar world like ours needs a lot of communication across many different powers. And so it's not the focus hasn't really been on America any longer. There are lots of key issues here, primarily in regards to Nigeria, the issues of minerals. Vice President spoke about the need for equity when it comes to our minerals. And of course, Cyril Ramaphosa has been hammering on mineral wealth in Africa and how it must be leveraged to allow for inclusive growth for African nations. And so a lot of the issues that have occurred, that are being discussed rather, do have to do with trade, do have to do with growth, but it has been a lot of collaboration here, and America is missing, but again, it feels like it's their loss.
And apparently the declarations went ahead despite the objection of the United States. But looking at the agenda for today, as the whole event begins to wrap up, what are some of the discussions and the top agenda for today?
But I think I lost you there for a bit, but I think you asked what's on the agenda for today. And what is on the agenda is a lot of closed meetings, high-level meetings between world leaders. We have Brazil in here, and we're expecting him to also come into the media center shortly. But all the meetings that have been occurring today are closed door. Usually, because the G20 declaration comes at the end of the summit, there's a lot of anticipation for the end of the summit and the closing ceremony. There is also going to be a closing speech given by Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa. What is not on the agenda is a handing over to America. Now, Lamola, who is the minister of South Africa's Minister of International Relations, has said that they can come to the DIRCO building, which is essentially his office, to do the handover, and that they'll be doing that next week. It's supposed to be very low level. It's not going to be very ceremonious. They said it's a breach of protocol by the U.S. to ask for it to be done to a deputy chief of mission or acting ambassador rather than a high-level representative. So what's on the agenda? Meetings, all closed door, all high-level, no media allowed. And what is missing the agenda, of course, is a handover to the U.S., which is going to be hosting the next G20 in Miami, Florida.
So, Adesua, with all you've said, there's been a lot of trade collaborations and all that. But what were the challenges, the main high points that gave concerns towards the establishment of this conference? And what are we looking forward to towards the next conference?
So very interesting. When it comes to what to look forward to in the next conference, the U.S. has already said that they're not going to implement a lot of the things done at the G20 this year. They see things differently, and the U.S. has been saying that even previously, because the Secretary of State had said it during the UN General Assembly as well, that the G20 ideals that South Africa is enshrining are different from America's own ideals or policies. So what has happened here is that a lot of the world leaders are sharing that they are dealing with the same problems. The Prime Minister of the UK, Keir Dama says the UK is dealing with immigration when it comes to inequality, when it comes to the lack of economic depression of the lower classes. And so it seems that a lot of the world leaders are saying that we're facing these same issues in our countries. And particularly what we're hearing from the global north is that if they do not sort out the climate crisis that's affecting us here in the global south, if they do not sort out the resources or the debt situation here in Africa, that later on we're not going to be able to see their own problems be solved. Now, I think I have to round now because Cyril Ramaphosa is just coming up here and I'm going to have to leave here right now.
Thank you so much, Adesua Agiwa-Osage, for the robust update you've given to us on the G20 summit happening right there in Johannesburg, South Africa. We've been speaking with our correspondent, Adesua Agiwa-Osage.